If you want to be a manufacturer, this is an interview you cannot miss. If you want to be a retailer, this is also an interview you cannot miss. My guest today here on Next Biz Success is Peter Fink. He started Certified Transmission about 30 years ago in the eastern Nebraska area, in Omaha, Nebraska. Today he's nationwide. He's got a lot of hard-won lessons about manufacturing, distribution, the business model, the structure, and growth. Peter Fink, thanks for joining us on Next Biz Success.
Thank you for being here, Len.
You bet. Hey, tell me the story. How did it begin? Was this another one of those things where you start in the garage and 30 years later you're doing fabulous and you're coast to coast? How does it all go, man?
Well, started out 30 years ago, started in a single repair facility.
Okay.
As soon as I opened up my second store, okay.
Now, were you working by yourself at this time or somebody else?
Well, by then, when I opened my second store, I had employees, okay. Of course, I started by myself, okay.
All right,
Me,
so
myself,
you started,
and I.
You woke up one day and said, I'm going to start fixing remanufacturing transmissions.
Yes, well, rebuilding transmissions.
Okay. All right. Because we make a paradigm shift eventually.
Yes, we do. In 1982, I opened a second location, and within a very short period of time, I realized that I couldn't build the two same products at both places. I could build a great GM product here, a great Ford product here. If one of the others showed up, the customer might not have got quite the value that they thought they were getting or should get. Okay.
So some inconsistency in operations and
the
production
product.
and
Yes,
quality
everything,
control.
definitely. So I said, okay, we're going to take all the remanufacturing process and bring it into one place, set standards, cross-train, and everything will be the same, okay, and stuff. With that, that made us be able to grow into 15 retail stores that we have at the present time,
Wow.
2 manufacturing plants, and we've got 15 distributors across the country.
Wow, so you're shipping auto transmissions all over the country.
Yes, we are.
That's amazing. Now, the whole thing about we're going to standardize it all and create a central manufacturing facility, how did that come about, and how long did it take to pull that together?
Well, like I said, back in '82, when I opened my second place, okay, I realized we couldn't do the same thing,
Right.
and so that created the need, okay, and so we looked at it, started setting up the facility, setting up standardization of how we wanted everything done, because one of the things that you'll find in some of the manufacturing, or especially a repair industry,
Yes.
you're only as good as the technician that shows up.
Right. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And what he was taught, and maybe he was taught right, maybe he wasn't, okay, and so you'd get a lot of variances,
Right.
not just in auto repair, but I mean in any kind of repair
But particularly
industry.
in auto repair.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and stuff.
So you said, well, let's break down every little component and create a procedure and standards and all
Yes, we
that,
did.
right?
Yes, we did. We
Okay.
also got the same product, okay, because when you were at different locations, well, I bought from vendor A, this one bought from vendor B,
Right.
okay, and so you had no uniformity. And the key to anything, if you're going to grow, is to develop into systems and standards and procedures and have the same product coming in as far as raw materials, okay,
Right.
to have a controlled same outgoing of the same product going out.
Yeah, and it's easy to talk about, but not so easy to
Oh yeah, it's always up here, but it's hard to put on paper.
Now, the transmission itself is a complex piece of equipment. Most of us have never really looked at it carefully, and I know you don't want to get into detail here, but tell us what the secret was so that you achieve the high, not just consistency, but quality, will you?
Sure. You have to have a system that you can put in place that is repeatable, and it has to be by the lowest person that you've decided is okay to do this.
Okay.
If you cannot repeat the process, you don't have a system.
Right.
You might think you do, but you're not going to be successful.
Right.
Okay.
Now, inside the transmission, the case and all the things that go back and forth, some are soft, so to speak, some are hard, and the typical neighborhood repair person is typically going to find the piece that's broken, which
Right.
is obvious and basic, I guess. Fix that piece, replace that piece, give it back to you, charge you a reasonable price. But you do that a little bit differently, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Tell me about that.
Yes, we do. Most places will just repair a transmission, or they call it a rebuilt transmission.
Okay,
What
sure.
that is where you go in and you fix a certain part that is broke, okay?
Yes.
You lost reverse, they go in and fix reverse, and you're going back down the road, okay? Well, in remanufacturing, okay, you're actually going through the whole transmission, bringing it back to the same specifications that it was when it was brand new, okay? So, big difference between remanufacturing and rebuilt. A lot of people throw those names around interchangeable,
yeah.
but they're really not. Okay?
Now, I love this idea, but it's got to cost more money to look at the entire organism or the entire apparatus that
Sure.
in an integrated fashion.
Yes.
It costs more money, right?
Yes, it does.
Do you
without
pass
a
those
doubt.
costs along to the consumer then? So you're the high price guy in the transmission remanufacturing industry, is
Well,
that true?
Not necessarily. Depending upon how you structure your systems and procedures and what you can start now getting efficiencies, established in your process, that you can pass those savings on. You will be higher. There is no doubt. You very rarely are you going to get
It
the
sounds
best
like
product.
you're putting out a premium deal there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's usually that it's only going to maybe be another 10, 15%.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't have to be where it's 50 or 100% or anything
Okay.
like this.
So you created manufacturing facilities so the process is streamlined, it's efficient.
Yes.
And you have really an environment that is shaping the cost structure.
That is correct.
So you can do a better job for less money is where I'm trying to go.
That is definitely correct.
All right, now that's a very interesting business model, the whole deal. Fix the whole thing, but do it in a very efficient way. Can we learn something from that before we go on and talk about some other things? What can we all learn from that process? Is that possible in any industry, do you think?
I think it is, definitely. You have to break it down and look at it to see. It doesn't have to be an assembly line. We don't use actually an assembly line, okay? We
all
have
right.
a person that you will train, and they go through a 13 to 26-week training program. Actually, it's an apprenticeship, program. We kind of brought back from the 60s or 70s the apprenticeship, or maybe even before, okay?
The
Start
guild, it's the
training.
ancient guild system,
Exactly,
really, yeah.
exactly, okay? Putting that back in. You get into that personal responsibility, and stuff, all right?
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, what if somebody screws up in the teamwork, they're working on a transmission? How do you deal with that to extract maximum learning and value? Is it, hey man, you messed up, or is it, hey, all you guys messed up? How do you do that?
Absolutely not. You need to bring them in, get them involved, okay? Sure, you got to hold them accountable and show them what they've done.
Right.
We'll do it by a number of different ways, okay? Some of it's by peer pressure because everything's public. We have
Peer
open
pressure
books.
is a great motivator.
We have open books so everyone knows what it's costing us, okay? They know if you're at the bottom, you're going to have to get some training, okay? Your coworker knows, hey, this guy isn't the top guy. He might need a little bit of my help, okay?
Now, I want to interrupt you and ask you, does that mean that the average hourly worker over there in your facility knows the profit margins and the cost, the internal costs and stuff like that? I mean, are you transparent?
They can if they want to. Yes,
Okay.
we are. Yes, we are. They will know what everybody, their coworkers are making, what I'm making, okay, what the company's making.
Is that right? Well, Peter Fink, let me ask you as we sign off here, do you recommend that for most manufacturers and so on to share those kinds of, private financial information with the worker?
I think so. That's how you get them involved. Okay, that's the difference. Almost that they become almost your partner.
Yeah.
If you're going to just treat them an employer-employee relationship, that's not the greatest one to have.
Yeah.
All our people feel they have stake of ownership, even though they're really not an owner.
Okay, so they have equity. Peter Fink with Certified Transmission in Omaha and all over the United States. Thanks for sharing these detailed examples and insights. Very important to us and important to the entire manufacturing industry as well. A lot to learn from this man. Thanks for joining us here on Next Biz Success. My name is Len Hinderaker. Now you can keep on going and keep on growing.